Yo, 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 G5Jefftv. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the share button as you come on in. We got a good one for you today. We got a real good one for you today. This Saturday, September 26th, jam-packed when it comes down to boxing. We have Charlo's pay-per-view. We have the World Boxing Super Series final, which we're going to talk about in this particular live. But this fight might end up being the best fight out of all of them come this Saturday. Dorticos versus Briedis. It's going to be real good. It's going to be real good. And the one thing that I like about cruiserweight is all of the main guys fight each other. You probably have more unifications in cruiserweight than any other weight class in boxing. And it's not a glamour division because it's in between light heavyweight and heavyweight. Cruiserweight has always been one of those weight classes that just never got the shine it deserved because it never had like a huge name in it. The David Hayes, the Evander Holyfields back in the day, made their name at cruiserweight. But I'm really looking forward to this one. Wait and see if VP Shane is going to come up in here. And we do have a special guest. That's going to be coming on. And this is going to be a breakdown and prediction video. It's going to be a breakdown and prediction live. Anybody that knows me know that I do breakdown and prediction videos for the past 2 years. And I ain't tooting my own horn, but I get most of them right. You know what I'm saying? I get most of them right. You know what I mean? So, we just waiting for VP Shane to get up in here, and then we're gonna take it from there. But Mairis Briedis and Yuniel Dorticos, they're two of the best crew. And I think we got VP Shane in the building. Hold on a second. Yes, we do.
Go, why did you go live straight away?
What is that?
Why did you go live straight away?
I didn't want to keep the people waiting.
Fair
So,
enough.
yeah. So, we got VP Shane in the building. We got a real good one this Saturday, man. Dorticos, Briedis, World Boxing Super Series final. This fight's been going down close to a year ago.
Yeah, no, yeah, a year ago, because remember the Tabiti Dorticos fight was what 1 year? It was in June.
That was
And then
2019.
yeah, 2019. So that was a semi-final. So yeah, so we're talking about round about this time last year, they would have probably tried to schedule the final.
Because wasn't it supposed to be in March?
It was supposed to be in March. They wanted it in November last year, but you know how the World Boxing Super Series has been with this financial issues. I don't want to get into too much because obviously we know what, obviously there's going to be certain, we're going to go into it as we go on, but one of the issues has been financial for the World Boxing Super Series, and they've been rescheduling it a few times, but it was supposed to be in March, but then you had the coronavirus. But the March situation was because again, I'll get into that in a second, but Briedis lost his belt he lost his belt because he was supposed to fight Gravatsky. So obviously they tried to get him his belt back, but obviously he was contractually obligated to fight Dorticos, but he was also mandated to fight Gravatsky. So he was in a bit where he had to relinquish his strap
He had to
go to court.
Yeah, and to be honest, it might be a situation like that with Fury and AJ as well if they, put the squeeze down on either one of them when it comes down to
Facts.
it comes down to the sanctioning bodies. Hold on. We got our special guest in the building.
Hello there. Hi.
What's going on?
What's going on, me? Introduce yourself
You
to
gotta
the people.
introduce yourself to the people.
Jeff, introduce yourself first. Jeff, introduce yourself first.
Well, you're tuned in to G5Jefftv, the best boxing YouTube channel on the planet, point blank, period. We're doing things that no other channel was doing. We are global, to say the least. And what you're getting right now is a US based channel, and we're bringing two different countries together, three different countries together to talk about the World Boxing Super Series final, and we're gonna do a breakdown and prediction video, actually live. So, to our special,
Introduce yourself.
yes,
Introduce
introduce
yourself.
yourself.
Yeah, hey guys, it's thanks for the invitation. So my name's Roland. I'm Latvian journalist. I'm more writing about sports in general, but I'm paying attention a lot of Latvian boxing, and Latvian boxing currently, is just Mairis Briedis. He's our superstar. So I'm really glad to talk about him to wider audience, to introduce him to more around the world. So I'm really up to whatever you guys are
Roland,
thinking.
I want to say thank you because obviously it's like, I think it's like 12 o'clock in Latvia right now. I'm pretty sure.
Actually, it's 1:30. So, but yeah, it's no problem.
Wow.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I mean, we got free. I'm actually grateful for that because obviously it's quite late over there.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate it. But we figured for Briedis, you would come on. It don't matter what time it is. So,
I mean, when it comes to Briedis, I know you said you're glad you want to bring him to a wider audience, but me and Jeff, we're very not as knowledgeable as you about Briedis, but Briedis is definitely someone we know about, but
yeah,
definitely.
Briedis, actually, there's quite a bit of people in the US that's familiar with Briedis, but for anybody in the US that's listening to this live, if you want to know how big Briedis is in his country, just go watch the previous Super Six matchups. Just watch them, and that crowd is his crowd is similar to be honest with you, like the energy, like it's kind of like when Floyd fights here. Like it's kind of like when Floyd fights here.
Bro, I'll say it's even worse. Sorry to cut you off, Rollins. I'll say it's even worse because I met Rollins in Latvia. When I went to Latvia, Briedis literally advertises everything. Like I was in an Latvian Uber, and his picture was on this massive poster. Like he advertised. I went to like a mall or something, like a shopping city or something like that, and he was advertising so much sports stuff. Like he was advertising everything. So Rollins, if you could give us like how big is Briedis in Latvia? How big is he?
Well, he has been around already a few years, and people started to follow him already when he was not a world champ, when he was just fighting his own fights, already when he was like, top 3 star in our country. Guys, Kristaps Porzingis is like NBA player from Dallas Mavericks.
Yes.
Yeah, I see. So you know how Porzingis is famous in America. So in Latvia, Porzingis and Briedis, they are more or less on the same level. They are two guys which we are really proud of, and they are the ones, as Shane said, they can advertise everything. If you get their advertisement, you are good to go. But Briedis is the one who brings people together. People like to cheer for winners, and Briedis is a winner. So he's not like having fights often. He's having 2-3 fights a year, and when he has a fight, believe me, everyone notices. Everyone notices, and there's maybe not everyone watching, but next day everyone is asking like, how did Briedis do? What happened? We are not a big nation. Latvia is a population of 2 million people, which is basically an average city in USA. Okay, so but Briedis brings us together. So we are really proud of him, and his fights are inspiring energy. And Shane saw that in Riga. When Briedis came into arena, when he made his walkout to Riga, it literally exploded. I have been to quite a few sports events, never seen anything like that. I have been to full soccer stadiums, in football, in basketball matches, in hockey matches. Latvians say we're crazy hockey fans. That evening, when Briedis came into arena and faced Glovatsky, that noise was crazy. And you know how that fight ended. The referee didn't even hear, gong. So
The bell. Oh yeah, is bro. That's another thing. That's a good point you brought up, Jeff. Obviously, you watched the fight because we spoke about the fight after, but the
Right.
ref didn't even hear the bell in the first round because of how much noise was being made. The ref didn't even hear the bell because he dropped Glovatsky on the bell and the ref didn't hear it and he let the fight continue
Right.
like another 30 seconds because he couldn't hear it. That's how
Right.
loud the crowd was.
That's-
Like it was ridiculous. And I was ringside for that and like it was crazy.
Did you hear the bell?
I heard the bell because
You heard the
yeah, actually, I also did. So that was
You
but
heard
we
the
were
bell.
sitting closer to the bell than the ref because we're like right next to the. Remember the people on the side as you when you go to fights, you know, like the bell's behind the judges. So
Okay.
there's actually rows before you reach the ring, the bell announcer, but we're right next to them, so we can hear it right straight away.
It's clear for you guys, for you guys to hear it than the ref. We got Lawrence Williams in the building. He said, "What's good?" Lawrence Williams also said Briedis is bigger than Porzingis in Latvia. Is that true?
You know, bigger, it's kind of subjective. So I would say that they are very,
Well, in your opinion.
both. I would say Porzingis, there's difference. As I said, Porzingis, when he's playing each second day. So it's like more or less routine. But everyone knows when Briedis has a fight, on his fight day, there is nothing else in Latvian sport. But, it's a difference. It's 2-3 weeks a year. It's not that often.
Exactly. Because Porzingis plays almost on a daily basis during the season. And with Briedis is 2 times a max, 3 times a year. So it's almost like a national holiday when Briedis is fighting because it's so little.
Well, maybe not national holiday. Like he's also, still a human, and as time passes, people are learning more about him, and there is some characteristics which are coming out. So I wouldn't say he's universally acclaimed. Whereas how to say this, like, not 100% fans. It's because national holiday or something like that is just hugely popular and mostly supported.
Yeah, I get you. I was gonna before we actually go into the breakdown of the fight. What I wanted to ask you is how do you Latvian fans view Briedis in terms of the World Boxing Super Series? Like, how do they feel like it's done for his career? Because one thing that we have in England, and this is very common, is when a fighter reaches a certain level, we like to keep them in the country. We don't really like when they start to branch out and fight in other countries because it's like when AJ started to fight, when AJ fought abroad last year, a lot of British fans, they felt like AJ turned their back on him, on the British fans. Do you feel, is it a thing where you want to see Briedis in different countries, or do you want him to stay in home, and do you want him to, like, how does Latvian fans see that in terms of working with the World Boxing Super Series?
Well, first of all, Super Series actually made it sure that Briedis stays in Latvia. I think he had 1, 2, 3 fights already in Latvia, and even this final was scheduled to take place in Riga, but it was moved because of COVID. So it's kind of still the case. And well, we understand. I mean, I can't speak for everyone, but it's universally understood that Latvia can't bring big market boxers to Riga. It's simply there's no money to bring that. So it's just widely understood it's not possible to keep Briedis here and to invite who to fight with him. Maybe Glovatsky, for rematch. That would be cool match to have in Riga again. But like let's say Akoli or Makabu, why would they go to Riga? Why? There is simply no reason.
That's a good point. I mean, obviously with someone like a Coley, he's under the Anthony Joshua banner, so he's someone who's gonna want to fight on a big arena, not in foreign ground. But I just wanted to see whether British fans, whether Latvian fans wanted to see him spread out or stay home. But that answered my question.
Okay. Well, let's get into this. Let's get into this fight. Dorticos, Briedis. I think this might end up being the best fight of the night, and we have a whole lot of boxing coming to us this Saturday. Let's start with our guest first. How do you see the fight? Yeah, how you think it's gonna play out?
You know, it's very difficult because we haven't seen both guys in a ring for a year. And actually, when we saw Briedis in a ring previous time, I still consider that was just one warming up round and a chaos against Golatsky. So
Exactly.
still
So
an
he
opinion.
only had one round in like a year. Or exactly.
Right.
1.5 years. He had one good round. So I haven't seen Briedis practicing. You know, there is some videos and something, but it's just what they choose to let out. So I must actually say I don't know how Briedis is currently. I just imagine it will be tough fight. Like Briedis will be very careful.
If Briedis is at his peak, in fact, I'm gonna ask the question differently. You're a Briedis fan, so how do you want to see Briedis fight? How do you want to see him fight, and how do you want him to take the fight?
Let's speculate. If I would speculate, I would imagine just to try to draw it out. I was really impressed by Andrew Tabiti in semifinal against Dorticos. I thought Tabiti was winning. I thought it was a good match. He was scrappy. He was leading, in my opinion. And it was one mistake, and it was done. It was not even a mistake, just one opening for Dorticos, and he proved his fame. So,
sorry to cut you off, what did you think about that, Jeff, about that fight? The Dorticos Tabiti fight.
I thought Tabiti was losing the fight. Simply because he was being scrappy. But he just looked really tentative at times. So a lot of the rounds I was giving to Dorticos strictly because he was the aggressor. And I felt like he was doing more effective work. I felt like Tabiti, he had the physical tools to actually get a W in that fight, and he just decided to throw with Dorticos all night. Like when he did throw, he just happened to throw when Dorticos was throwing. That's the last thing you do against a power guy like that. Like you can't throw with him because if he lands first, it's night, and that's exactly what happened. I do think Tabiti was losing the fight, but I think he went in with a horrible strategy.
He won a lot of early rounds, though. He did win a lot of early rounds. He won, in my opinion, he won a lot of early rounds. It's just you can't keep running for eventually your legs, you're gonna have to hold your feet. Eventually, you're gonna have to hold your feet. He was way too tentative and way too nervous.
Yeah, but I was giving him. He was winning early rounds. It was kind of like the lesser of two evils. Like it wasn't like he was doing a whole lot of real good work in those early rounds. Like he was doing just enough to win them, keep the distance. He was doing a lot of moving. And I think Shane, we talked about it before. I'm like, at some point, you're gonna have to sit there and stand your ground. If you sit and move all night long, your energy is gonna be shot later on in the fight. And I think that's what happened. I think that's what happened to him. But yeah, he gave Dorticos the perfect opportunity by throwing with him. And Dorticos throws a lot of straight shots. He throws a lot of straight shots. His combination, all his combinations end in the right hand. All of them.
So continue what you were saying, Roland, because we kind of went on a tangent.
Yeah, we switched to Dorticos and Tabiti. Well, actually, if you've seen first season Super Series, Briedis had a quarterfinal with Mairis. I would actually look something in that direction. Not a pretty fight, definitely.
We spoke about that, didn't we? Today, Jeff. We spoke about that today. The Perez fight.
Yeah.
The Perez and Briedis fight. We spoke about that today on Instagram.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay, it's about
I
that.
just watched it. I just watched that fight today. Um, it was it just me? It was a lot of clinching, a lot of holding in that
Yeah, but
fight.
he wants. That's what Roland's saying. He wants to see Briedis hold. Why do you not feel
I
like he
mean, I
does?
don't want. I imagine what will happen. If you want my bet, I think that's what will happen. Briedis will take
Oh,
like
okay.
scrappy
You
clutch fight.
expect it to happen. You
Okay.
expect
Yeah.
that to happen.
Yeah, I think well, Roland, do you think that's the best strategy for him to be in tight with Dorticos?
I will not pretend as a boxing expert. I can put out my thoughts or something, but I'm, more like in a journalistic connection about that. I will not,
Hey,
put out
you
my
bring your
strategy about
information
that.
if you want to give it to us.
Yeah. So it's uh, I know he has a. Before previous fight, I was worried about his coaches. Like, he had coaches who maybe are not experienced that much on his that level. Uh, Now they had a lot of time to work together. They had a lot of time to prepare over and over again. They had time to research Dorticos as much as they want. So subjectively, I'm feeling fine about Briedis will choose a strategy to go on, which he thinks is the best. I imagine my best guess is it will be nothing near what we saw from highlights of Usyk Briedis. That was just pure entertainment.
That was
I
fantastic.
imagine,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Nothing of that I expect. I just can't
Um,
imagine Briedis taking such a risk.
I mean, in personal opinion, if Briedis fights like that, it could be a gift and a curse. Because one thing I know for a fact is Briedis is way more skillful than Dorticos. But I feel like one thing that people are missing is both fighters throw punches like they pay for their punches. Like they don't waste punches. They don't. It's like every punch has to mean something. There's a system to each of the punches. So to me, I'm like, when you have a power puncher and you have a boxer, the power puncher who takes their time tends to lose a lot of rounds. So if I was Briedis, I'm looking at it like keep it defensively disciplined. He's one of the most defensive fight. I've never seen Briedis like defensively irresponsible. Like even when you talk about the Usyk fight, he wasn't irresponsible in that fight. He was aggressive, but he wasn't irresponsible. I've never seen him like reckless. So I was
I want
still
to put, I
go
want to
on.
put here. Briedis has never been even knocked down. He has
I've
never.
never seen him hurt. I've never seen Briedis hurt. I've never even seen
Yeah,
Briedis hurt
that's true. He is like
because
as
he's
you
so
say, very
defensively
careful.
responsible.
Yeah. As far as Briedis is concerned, would you say now Dorticos only lost he actually had him down 8-4 in that fight going into the 12th when he got
Against
stopped.
Gassiev, by
Yes.
Gassiev.
But I think Gassiev had a perfect game plan because he moved around the ring, but he wasn't using a lot of energy. So he was moving around the ring, but it was kind of just at a smooth pace. And it looked like he was looking for the right hand. He was looking for Dorticos' right hand, and the majority of them were getting blocked. And what he was doing on offense was he was throwing no more than 3 punches, 2 punch combination, and out.
Would you say that's a good tactic for Briedis to use? Because he can use that tactic. He can use that
I
game plan.
Yes, I think he should use that game plan, but here's the difference. I think Briedis needs to get a little closer. He can steal that same game plan. I just think Briedis would be better off a little closer than Kasayev was. Strictly because Dorticos is open for the upcuts. He's open for the uppercuts. And especially he needs extension. He needs space.
Because he needs the space. He needs the
He
space
needs
because he's
space. Right. He needs space. He needs room to operate. You can't get that jab, that jab straight right hand off if you're close. If you're
I'm
close.
gonna answer this question and I'm gonna respond to your point. The Lawrence Williams point where he said he thought Givor beat Briedis. I thought Briedis lost that fight as well. I thought Givor beat Briedis, but the reason why Briedis lost that, in my opinion, Briedis lost that fight was because he wasn't active. Again, that goes back to my point of he doesn't throw unnecessary punches, and in this fight, he's not gonna have that issue. He's not gonna have to go and search for Dorticos. Dorticos is gonna be there all night, and it goes back to your point of maybe the safest distance is all the way in, is
Yeah,
being really close and firing all the way in, like how he was in the Perez fight, kind of keeping it so tight where it's kind of scruffy and there's not much, there's not that much space to let your work off. I mean, what do you say about that, Rollins? What do you think? What's your opinion on that? Or in
I
the
actually would
G5
like
fight in
to.
itself?
I also was not impressed with Gabor fight at all. I don't want to say he lost or no. I just, I pointed out in Latvian media there was discussion about that. So that's a thing. What I want to point out here is that I think in 2016, Briedis was fighting with heavyweight Manuel Char. And I
Yeah, and he
think in
stopped him.
these four, yeah, and he knocked him greatly. That's one impressive knockout. But after that, in 4 years, I think Briedis has always been a favorite, except fight with Usyk. But in all other fights, Briedis has been a favorite. His victories has been expected, and he has been smart enough to take a safest way to get victory. Is he favorite against Dorticos? I think it's real 50-50, so maybe
In
safest.
According to betting, he's favorite.
Yeah,
But
okay, so he's again favored. So, but my point is that Dorticus is as big threat as Usyk. So Briedis simply taking the safest way maybe not be enough. I'm, just spitballing away. As example, in Paris, the Gabor fight, well, we saw nothing from Glavatsky fight, unfortunately, but he was always taking just smart strategy and he was winning. Against Usyk, he needed some highlights. And when he was doing highlights, he was doing entertaining fights.
honestly, in my personal opinion, and I know it's not going to be a common opinion, I thought Briedis beat Usyk. I swear to God, I thought Briedis beat Usyk. I swear, I thought Briedis beat Usyk. I thought, I don't know, man. I thought Briedis beat Usyk.
bro, I gotta disagree with you on that one, man.
I knew it. I thought Briedis won.
Yeah,
I was really cheering
I
for
thought
Briedis that
I
time, but
thought,
no, yeah, I can't
yeah, I
agree
thought
also with
Briedis
that.
lost the fight. I thought it was close. It was close, but I thought we can I can watch that fight again, Shane. We can do
I've
another
only
live.
watched it. I only watched it live. I only watched it live. I haven't watched
Okay,
it
so
since.
we
I've
gotta
only
watch
watched
it
it
on.
live.
So you gotta watch it on tape. You gotta
Yeah, I
watch it
gotta
on
watch
tape.
it.
It's
I gotta
probably on
watch it
YouTube.
properly.
Yeah, we can watch it on YouTube, and we'll actually, you know what? Let's do that. You watch it, do your scorecard. I'll watch it. I'll do mine. We'll do a live on it. As far as the fight, oh, we had a comment. Lawrence said, I thought Noel Glover actually beat
Yeah,
Briedis in the second season.
I
Yeah,
just
that's
suggest
just
that
what we
just
was
now.
talking about. Yeah.
I just suggest that now.
Rose, how do you what's your prediction for the fight? I know it's pretty late over there. I don't want to hold you too long. What's your prediction for the fight?
It's okay, as I'm still up. Prediction. Briedis holds on 4 points and draws it out, and Dorticus is. It's my prediction, not my wish, but I expect that Dorticus will not show much actually, just because Briedis will not let him. There will be, I expect, kind of boring fight, kind of scrappy, lots of clinching, and Briedis not letting Dorticus show anything.
I was gonna ask you a question. If Briedis does win, what do you because he's coming to the latter end of his career and he's in a division that is never really had the limelight on it. So what do you say he should do moving forward?
Well, easy answer, of course, is heavyweights, but I really doubt that's his way. I haven't got 100 confirmation from his promoter agent. It's like let's see what Mairis wants and something. But my feeling is that it's not for him. He's not looking there. Although
It's crazy because he fought 2 heavyweights already. Perez has been at heavyweight and Huck is not Huck. Char was it? Manuel Char is the heavyweight WBA regular champion, so it's a surprise that he doesn't want to move to heavyweight. And Usyk is now heavyweight, so I'm surprised he doesn't want to move to heavyweight.
I mean, I'm not sure. I haven't asked Briedis personally, and it's also a thing which you don't reveal. But my personal feeling is nothing points that direction. So my imagination, I imagine next step is win or lose. It's rematch with Glovatsky. There will be interest a lot in Eastern Europe, in Poland. Polish people are still, crazy about that fight. They want their own justice. Briedis is ready to provide it, and yeah, it can be made in something of a money match, not in Western Europe terms, but for some kind of local level. I really think that would cover a lot of
No,
bases.
it will be a money fight regardless, because I saw a lot of Polish fans there, and there will be 10 times more Polish fans this time because
Yeah,
they felt like they got robbed. They felt like they got robbed.
yeah, that would be
Well,
a
they have
great.
a point. So, and yeah, Briedis has said that he's ready to go to Poland, to Warsaw to make a place in the biggest arena, and just, he's ready. But people boo him out. But
I still think Briedis beats him. I still think Briedis beats him because I think Glovatsky doesn't have a great chin. I'll be honest. I think Glovatsky's chin's gone.
Yeah, I
yeah,
like Briedis in that fight too. I like Briedis in that fight as well. Yeah.
yeah. Well,
So what's your breakdown and prediction, Jeff, for the?
Well, before I get to that, Lawrence Williams said the winner should fight Glowacki, Okoli winner. That's what we was just talking about. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. As far as my prediction for the fight, I think Briedis is just gonna get on the inside. I think he's gonna get on the inside, and I think he's gonna be able to land some really good shots. As long as he keep them in twos and threes, kind of use the old Bernard Hopkins strategy. Get your 2 and 3 off and just clinch. Get
Yeah.
close, get tight, and clinch. I
Like
think if he
Klitschko,
does that,
kind of like
that
Klitschko.
kind of like Klitschko, that jab and grab, and people don't like it, but it's effective. It's effective.
You
Um,
win rounds.
you win rounds that way. And I think Briedis is going to do that. So I think first 7, 8 rounds, I would say maybe 8 rounds in, he might be up 6-2. With that
And
style on.
the problem with that is the last person you want to be down against is Briedis. Because if Briedis sees the finish line, he's a safety fighter. He's a fighter who
Yeah,
thinks, "Yep, I see the finish line. I'm just gonna see the. I'm going for the finish.
yeah,
I don't care if I look bad. I don't care if I look boring. I'm not engaging." And the
yeah,
problem with Dorticos is, I think this is the worst style matchup for Dorticos because Dorticos is constantly looking for a knockout, and he's waiting for opening. Briedis gives you
yeah,
0 openings. So
yeah.
it is a difficult fight for him.
It's
He's
a
gonna have to change his whole entire style. He's gonna have to
yeah,
change his whole entire style.
it's a completely bad matchup for Dorticos from a style standpoint. Even 2, 3 years ago when he was like really, really sharp, it would have been difficult for him 2, 3 years ago, against Briedis. But with him being older and he's I don't want to say he's robotic. He's not robotic, but he's very like
You
he
can
comes
see the
with a lot
system.
of shots.
It's
You can see the shot
it's
coming.
yeah, it's very systematic. It's very
Yeah, you can see the
systematic. It's
shots
like
coming.
programming.
He's if he's not throwing a combination, it's a jab. Like he's throwing a jab. It could be a jab to the, it could be a jab to the head, jab to the chest, but you're gonna see a jab, and when he throws a combination, it's gonna end with a right hand. Whether it's a looping right hand or a straight right hand, his combination is gonna end with a right hand. His punch variety is those two. Like that's it. Like he doesn't really give you anything else. So what you're getting from who's coming into the fight offensively from him. So that's why it makes it such a difficult fight for him because he's kind of predictable as far as his punch combinations, and that's the last thing you need with a guy like Briedis inside of the ring. So I think Briedis is going to win the fight by decision. I think it's going to be moments where it's going to look kind of sloppy, but it's just Briedis just doing what he does. But I think if Briedis he can be one thing Rollins that Shane and I always talk about is some fighters in some fights, your distance is the key. Like you either got to be all the way out or all the way in.
Can't
This
be
is
in the
one of
middle.
those fights. This is one of those fights for Briedis where he can't be mid range. He
You can't. You
cannot be
can't.
mid range because he can't be safety first if he's mid range because he's right in the line of fire. So he either got to be all the way out or he got to close the gap quick and get all the way in, which I think will be his game plan. I think that's what he'll do, and I think he'll win a decision. I'm thinking maybe like 8-4. But if he can sprinkle some uppercuts in there as well, he could get a knockdown in this fight. He could get a
I
knockdown in
mean,
this fight.
people need to rate Briedis' power as well. The only person who was genuinely hurt in that Usyk fight was Usyk. Usyk was the only person that was hurt in that fight, and I saw him fight Gravatsky. He's knocked the Gravatsky out, and then you look at the Char fight. He knocked Char out cold, ice
Right.
cold. So
Yeah.
Briedis has got power. Briedis definitely has power.
Briedis definitely has power. I think I think if he gets this fight, if he doesn't get the rematch next, I actually think he would have some success at heavyweight. I think he'll have
I
to
think
be
you have great success at heavyweight.
yeah, I think he would have to be selective in terms of the opponent. But I would love Briedis at heavyweight. This is about 5 guys right now within the top 20 that I would
That I
take
would see him
over
beating.
right now. Like I would love Briedis at heavyweight. Rollins, if they say they want to go to heavyweight, I'm kind of interested to know why, because I think it's more money, and I think he can really make some. I think he can make some waves at heavyweight. I really do. What you think, Rollins?
I mean, what it could come with a not that easy way because I completely agree with what you said. But Bried is very universal fighter. He can change his style. He can adapt, and that's one of his strengths. Obviously, as Shane says, he has also strong punch. But his greatest pro, I consider his universality. He takes opponent, adjusts, and does it close to perfection. About heavyweights, it's what actually there was a case I think right after Usyk fight that Briedis went on to national TV and said what he was thinking about finishing career. That was completely out of blue, unexpected, but
What, retiring?
Yeah, like retiring. It was unexpected, but he thinks so, so he thinks so. And few months later, it was clarified, but he was not thinking, he was confused, so he just spit something out. It so happened. I kind of think still back onto that Briedis, as an intelligent guy, he doesn't want to take to his 40s. He doesn't want to exhaust himself in a ring. He wants to make his career. He wants to be a best cruiserweight, and that's like a
And to
goal
be fair,
done.
maybe it's his mentality in and outside the ring, because we all can agree that he's a safety first fighter inside the ring. He will find a style and he will adjust to the opponent. So he's a safety first fighter. Maybe that's how he is outside the ring. Maybe he's a person who just doesn't want to take that risk, because moving to heavyweight, it's a completely different task. And maybe, I mean, I look at it from a money perspective, there's a lot of big money fights for him, but maybe he just doesn't see it that way. I mean, I don't know how it is financially for him out there. As you said before, he's a superstar, so
I mean, I don't think he's in perfect, millionaire or something like that, because just with Super Series, he's getting some money fights. And when we are talking about heavyweights, I mean, who would want to fight him? Just, you have some kind of, you have Usyk, who is not famous, I would say like that. Why would you fight him? Why Chisora? Why, I don't know, even Ruiz, Joshua, or even think about fighting him?
I'll give you someone who he could fight and he would beat and he would make money off right now, and that's when Joe Joyce loses to Dubois, I can see him fighting I can see that. I can see that. I can see Briedis beating Joyce, and I can see Briedis making a lot of money off that fight. And there's so
No, I
many British
definitely
fighters.
imagine Briedis. Definitely imagine Briedis competing in heavyweights with good success. I'm just, it's it's again starting to step because Briedis had a very difficult career start. No one cared about guy from Latvia, whatever how good he is. It's just like he had been invited to Manuel Char fight, to fight heavyweight just because for Char to knock someone out in front of in a dictator.
Yeah, he was brought in as an opponent. He was brought in as an opponent.
Yeah. But Briedis proved himself, made a favor for himself. That was his risk. That was huge risk. He could have been knocked out, and that's all. We would never hear about him. I mean, you wouldn't. The heavyweights is more or less taking again the same risk, starting to step up again. Of course, he has a name and everything, but I think it would be hard for him to find good opponents. It would take some time. It would take years to get.
Why I agree with you is because look at Gassiev. Gassiev's supposed to be moving up to heavyweight like 2 years, and he ain't found a fight at heavyweight. So that's a good point. That's a good point.
I mean, Usyk in 2 years have had one kind of fight with a little-known person. So it's Usyk. It's Usyk who is mentioned left and right by Joshua Fury. They are talking to him. He has not got a fight.
That's a good point.
I don't believe he will get to Joshua. I think.
But what about if there's a World Boxing Super Series at heavyweight? What if there's one at heavyweight?
Man,
then there will be.
Yeah, it's too many fighters. There's too many fighters. There's like you were narrowed down to how big is the tournament to be? 6? Who's your 6?
Oh, 10. To me, I would want it to be 10. I would want
10?
it to be
Who's
10.
your 10 then? Who's your 10? Is with Briedis being
my 10? If he wins the World Boxing Super Series, yeah, he will be.
Actually, to that I can agree. Okay. If Super Series goes season 3 and makes heavyweights, then I can see Briedis.
I mean, you could have a Briedis in there, a Joseph Parker. If Dylan White loses to Povetkin, Dylan White, Manuel Char's got a WBA regular belt, so at least it gives the winner something out of it. I don't know. I'll put some fighters in there. Derek Chisora.
Yeah, I think if Briedis can get this victory, I do think that you winning the Super 6 does bring some cachet. And the thing about Briedis that's a little different is he has that whole country just behind him, and even if you're not from that country, you've seen fights with Briedis where the crowd is like going absolutely crazy. So you will have situations where some fighters, it may not be a top 10 fighter, but there may be a fighter in the top 20 that will come to Briedis' hometown for the right price. I think he can get some fights at heavyweight, and he can probably get some heavyweights to come over to his home country to fight him. It just won't be anybody in the top 10. But if he wanted to just stay active and get a couple checks and things like that, I think he could pull it off after he gets this victory. And another thing with Briedis gets knockouts. Like, he's a power guy, so it's a little different than Usyk is a technical guy. Like, he gets knockouts, but he's not cracking like Briedis. Briedis, he's safety first, but when he swing, he's looking for home runs. And that's right up the heavyweight division's alley. But it's more than a couple guys I think Briedis can beat for sure at heavyweight. So I hope he entertains it.
What time is it over there, Roland? What time is it?
It's actually a bit over 2, but don't worry about that. I just wanted to add because my guess would be, considering how close Briedis has relationships with Super Series organizers, with Sauerland brothers. They are really Sauerland, yeah. If Briedis goes to heavyweight, then it will happen in Super Series season 3 with exact opponent, in quarterfinals when he has everything scheduled. If And Sauerland will put him there. Don't doubt about it.
That's a
If
good
Briedis agrees to where, Sauerland will put him there.
I mean, definitely, because Sauerland knows for a fact that Sauerland knows right now the only way he's making money is if he goes to Latvia, because he tried to do it in England with Eubank and Groves. He didn't even sell that out, and he had Eubank and Groves. So he knows.
right.
He went to Russia with Gassiev and Usyk. He didn't sell that out. He went to Saudi Arabia with Smith and Groves. He didn't sell that out.
Yeah,
But when he went to Latvia with Gravatsky and Briedis, he sold it out 10 times. So
that's a great point. That's a great point, and that's what I'm getting to, because that's what I'm saying. Like with Briedis having the whole country behind him, like from a promoter standpoint, like that's all they need to hear. Like, you know, that's all they need to hear. So if you're bringing up a situation with, you know, Briedis, Latvia, and you know, you do another World Boxing Super Series and you do one at heavyweight with specific guys, and you take it to Latvia, like, you know it's gonna do well. You know it's gonna do well. And I think that's the difference between Briedis and Usyk and other guys that went
and Jeff, Jeff, this is for you, because Tabiti was in this series, World Boxing Super Series, and to me, like Tabiti being signed to Mayweather, that just shows you Tabiti, that fight was in Latvia, but Tabiti signed to Mayweather. You see my point? Like, if there was a real pulling power, that fight should be in America. You see my point? Because Tabiti supposed, like imagine Tank in the World Boxing Super Series. That fight's in America. Do you see my point?
Yeah, but Tabiti don't have no name. Tabiti don't have no name in the States. But nobody's paying Tabiti any mind in the States.
Your audio's out of sync, or is it just me?
Yeah, something is a bit wrong with connection.
Your audio's out of sync, Jeff. I mean, Roland's audio is fine. Your audio's out of sync a bit.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but it's like your words are going before you speak.
Oh, wow. I don't know. I don't know, but that's a great point. As far as World Boxing,
it's back. It's back.
It's back. Okay, cool.
Yeah, you're back.
It's I think World Boxing Super Series, they bring it to Latvia, I think, and just feature it around Briedis. It's going to be action fights, and I think it is going to be, the money's going to be.
I mean, you know, another fight that I can see happening, and I'm being dead serious. You see, if Dylan White beats Povetkin and Briedis beats Dorticos, Russia versus Latvia will be a good fight. Povetkin versus Briedis, that's a real good fight.
Who you like in that fight?
But
what were you saying, Rollins?
Go ahead, Rollins.
On paper, yeah, but it's a bit too far for me, like, you know, to really, let's say, dream about that. It sure would be great to see. It would be very interesting, but let's say it's a bit too far in the future to think about it.
It's just a hypothetical. Obviously, that fight.
That's a fantasy fight.
Too much ingredients to happen. We will need one person to win, then that person. There's too much ingredients.
All right.
Still about the Super Series in Latvia, like, you know, they like Latvia also just because, not of selling out tickets, because the buying power in Latvia is not that great, so tickets are just cheaper. But there's a lot of other ingredients which I have heard from, you know, organizers and Briedis guys, Briedis team by Super Series likes Latvia. It's simply arena is very nice, modern, and cheap.
Very
comparing,
nice.
Yeah, like I don't like to say that its arena is cheap, but comparing to countries which you mentioned, yeah, it's simply easier to organize that. And atmosphere which you experienced there greatly translates on a TV. That's the zone. Guys really liked that. They really like Latvia. They want to bring it to
Latvia is one of the most peaceful. Jeff, we need to go there one day. Latvia is one of the most peaceful countries. Like, it's so peaceful. Yeah. Like, I was there for 1 week. I didn't hear one police siren. I didn't hear everybody so peaceful there. Like, it's the most peaceful. So peaceful. It's a peaceful country.
I would love that, because in the United States, that's all you hear is police sirens and fire sirens and everything else. So, Yeah, I would love that. So to cap this off, Rollins, I'm assuming you
Yeah.
have Briedis winning the fight.
Yeah, I said so. I think he goes by decision, and I really also hope so because America and Cuba had a lot of champions, a lot of great fighters. Let Latvia have this one. Let Briedis go all the way. Let him
Yes.
finish what he started
Yeah,
first
this
season.
if
And
he
first of
wins,
all,
if he wins, he'll be a 3-time world champion and winning
yeah,
3 different straps. I mean,
Yeah,
that's amazing in itself.
that's big. How do you have it? What's your prediction, Jane?
I mean, when you put all the ingredients in the pot, I just feel like it's going to be difficult for Dorticos to stop Briedis. And if he doesn't stop him, he's not beating Briedis on points. So I feel like Briedis is going to win on points as well. I feel like there's a chance Briedis can stop Dorticos, but I feel like when Briedis sees the finish line, he's not even going to go for the risk. Like Gassiev, Gassiev saw the finish line, but he thought he was aggressive enough to get the knockout. I don't think Briedis, if he was in that position, he would go all the way and try it. He's just a bit more circumspect as a person, but I do feel like he has the ability to.
Yeah,
If
but
he
he'll
got the
go
knockout,
to
if he got the knockout, I would want to see Briedis at heavyweight. I swear to God.
see.
If he got the
Yeah,
knockout, I would want to see Briedis at heavyweight.
yeah. If he knocks out Dorticos, yeah, he got to go to heavyweight. He got to go to heavyweight. Like, it's just even if he only fights maybe like two fights at heavyweight, I just want to see him at heavyweight, especially if he knocks out Dorticos. But I agree with you guys. I had Briedis by decision, as well. But Rollins, we definitely appreciate you coming on with us.
it was my pleasure. Sure, thanks for the invitation. I hope I provided any use of me. And yeah,
Now,
I'm happy to
definitely,
hear how.
it's variety. The variety is fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
well, I'm definitely happy to hear that Briedis is appreciated also outside of Latvia, but
absolutely.
but
Yeah,
it's
he's
so.
people in the States, like people in the United States, they cruiserweight is a division. It's not a glamour division, but when a fight like this comes on, like the US is paying attention. Like we're paying attention. So
It's a hardcore division. If you're a hardcore fan,
yes.
you'll like
And the
fights
thing
like this.
and the thing about the cruiserweight division, they give out the most unification fights out of any division. Out of any
Facts,
division.
facts, facts. That's a fact.
The top guys face each other the most at cruiserweight. And there's no politics. There's no
I mean,
politics
you
in cruiserweight.
look at the fights we've seen. Look at the fights we've seen. We've seen Glavatsky versus Usyk. We've seen Usyk versus Briedis. We've seen Usyk versus Gassiev. We're gonna see Dorticos versus Briedis. We've seen Dorticos versus Gassiev. We've seen Lebedev versus Gassiev. We saw Huck versus Usyk. We saw Glavatsky versus Usyk. Like, all of those fights are literally, what more can you ask for? What more? If
Yeah.
you're a boxer,
There is simple reason for that. They can't get money gate themselves. They can't. Briedis can't find journeymans all the time, and Castillo can't find journeymans. Let's say some top stars who need just themselves. Cruiserweights
yeah,
need to have fight. They can't
Right.
take them themselves. So it's true what you said. There's just, I think, simple explanation behind that.
no, I agree. I agree.
No, I agree with that 100%. So Rollins, hopefully we'll be able to get
Yes,
you
let's
on
stay in
after
touch
the fight.
somehow. Yeah, sounds good. Definitely, we can.
I
Do a
mean,
post.
Let's keep in touch. Let's keep in touch,
Yeah,
and let's see what
absolutely.
we can do.
Instagram. I'll send you his Instagram, Jeff. I'll send you his Instagram.
Okay. We can keep in contact on Instagram and we're definitely gonna do a post fight. Which I think after the fight we'll probably be able to get a couple more people on.
You know what it
Post
was?
fight.
It's because one is because the time of day, and two is also because Briedis Gassiev. We were on live yesterday, American fight. So Briedis Gassiev Latvian fight is 1 o'clock. So it's kind of
Yeah, so they're gonna get the replay of this, and then
exactly.
post fight, we'll do a live, and then they'll get the replay of that. But the main thing is that the lives will be out there, and the main thing is when you come on here, like everybody can come on here. Is no limitations. I don't understand how people have like they cover boxing, but they limit themselves to one area. Like it's a global sport, and that's what that's what we're all about. So Rollins, you have an open invitation anytime you want. We can talk Briedis, we can talk whatever you want when you come on this channel.
Okay, it's nice to hear. Really, let's see how that goes. And wish you luck, guys.
Thanks.
Yeah. So I guess
I mean,
this is me
yeah, I was gonna
saying
say,
goodbye.
yeah.
Yes. So Rollins, thank you again for coming on, and
Put all your like social medias, your what's the stuff, like your obviously the company you work for as well also.
I mean, I'm working for a Latvian company. It's SportsCenters.com. It's almost like American Sports Center, so it's often confused that it's it's in Latvian, so I don't imagine there's much interest there.
Fair enough. Maybe fair enough. That's a good point.
Yeah, so we had
if,
Toshi was in the building. Toshi said hello. He said, "Who you got?" All three of us like Briedis in the fight by decision. Toshi, Jay Banks in the building. What's going on? Yeah, but that's about it. So we're looking forward to the fight. I think it's going to be a great fight. I'm really curious to see how both guys come out since they haven't been in the ring in so long. I think it's going to be a lot of ring rust, but I think it's going to be. I think if Dorticos doesn't get like a knockdown or a knockout within the first 4 rounds, he's toast. He's done. Like that's his best shot to get a victory within the first 4 rounds and catch Briedis cold. If he don't catch Briedis cold in the first 4 rounds, he's gonna have a really, really hard time. But Shane, we gonna close it there. Shane, you want to give your social media?
Yeah, everybody should know already, but it's I_am Shane. Everybody should know already. But Rollins, thanks for today as well. I know you stayed up late, so thanks for that one.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so see you sometime and good luck. So take care.
All right. On behalf of G5Jefftv, VP Shane, Dorticos Briedis this Saturday, and we will be back live tomorrow. We're gonna be talking Charlo's. We're gonna be talking to Charlo pay-per-view. We're gonna cover all of the fights on there. Was that 6 fights? 6?
Yeah,
6 fights.
It's Lewis Neri. It's Lewis Neri. Almeida, that's the fight. You got the both Charlo fights. That's 3. Who else is on the card?
Danny Roman.
Oh, Roman's on the fight. Well, is Roman not with Eddie Hearn anymore?
That's a good question.
He was with Eddie Hearn, but he signed with Eddie Hearn. I remember when he signed with Eddie Hearn, and he was trying to make the Roman Ray Vargas fight, but then Roman lost to Ahmed Aliyev.
Right.
So, and that was on the zone. I think Roman's last 4 fights was on the zone.
He might be still with Hearn. He might be still with Hearn. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Maybe it was fight by fight, but he's on PBC now. So
yeah, I can't imagine him, Eddie Hearn, letting him cross the street if he was still signed to him. So,
but he's not the champion anymore. He's not right. Eddie Hearn as the champion. Eddie Hearn as the champion. Eddie Hearn as Ahmed Aliyev. So
right. Toshi said, I'm gonna have to rewatch the KO Doctor not winning. No. No, I don't like
honestly, I love Dorticos. Like Dorticos is one of my favorite fighters in world boxing. Off an entertainment perspective, he is so entertaining. But
it's just a bad style matchup. Yeah, it's a bad style matchup for him, Toshi. We got Fritz Mirror in the building.
Oh, Fritz.
Yeah, Fritz in the building. Said good vibes.
you missed the live. You missed most of you guys missed the best part. The
Yeah,
live. To be
just
honest.
listen, just watch the playback. Toshi, Fritz, we're gonna be back on tomorrow. We're gonna cover the entire Charlo pay-per-view card. We're gonna
Who else is on that card? That's only 4 fights. Who else is on that card?
yeah, it's 2 more fights we're missing. I can't think of who. But we'll get that figured out. Because they said it's 5 title fights. It says 5 title fights
Well,
out of 6
I
fights.
can only think of 4. I don't know the other one.
Yeah, I don't know the other one either. So we gonna have to figure that out. We'll have that figured out by tomorrow. But that's gonna be the live tomorrow. We're gonna be covering the Charlo pay-per-view, all of the fights on there. But this was a real good live, man. Dorticos and
To be
Briedis.
fair, this is legendary to me because it like this just shows Jeff's like what Jeff's intentions are moving forward, like the channel moving forward and what it's on. If those who don't know watch it back, but what Jeff's done today and what he's planning on, like nobody in America is even talking about this fight, much less doing what Jeff's doing right now. So it's just kind of
Yeah,
legendary.
that's the thing. Like it's unfortunately in the States, you have if you're not talking about Spence, Crawford, or Devin Haney, Gary Russell, or Tank, you're not gonna get too much content. This is gonna be the only place where you get somebody from the UK, somebody from the US, and somebody from Latvia on the same
Facts.
talking
Where are
about
you gonna get that?
where you to get that. You're not, you know what I'm saying? And it's not even something that we're bragging about. That's just who we are. That's just who
Literally,
we
man.
are as a channel. We will chop it up and talk boxing with absolutely anybody. But we're gonna be back on the US fights tomorrow. And we're basically gonna take it from there. So on behalf of
Are we going? Are you going live? Are you going live this Saturday as well?
yeah, we're gonna go live this Saturday as well. So we got the live tomorrow. I think we're gonna do another one Thursday, and then
The
we'll go
live
live Saturday.
and then the live Sunday. I told you
Yes,
about the live Sunday.
yes, and then we're doing the live Sunday as well. So we're gonna be pretty busy. And that's not even counting the regular videos that I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna try to talk Shane into doing some videos too in the future, but I'm still negotiating with him about that. That's neither here nor there.
We're working. We're working.
Yeah,
We're
we're
working. We're
working.
definitely working.
You know,
We're
we're
definitely
definitely
working.
working. So tell a friend to tell a friend. Come join the movement.
Oh yeah, Fritz. If you're still watching, you need to hit up Jeff on Instagram. You need to come on one of these lives.
Yeah, Fritz, you need to hit us up on Instagram. I think Toshi's already on Instagram. If not, Toshi, definitely get with us on Instagram. We definitely would love to have you guys on an actual live. This the only channel where the actual subscribers can actually get on the show. Like it's the only place. Like this is the only place. So definitely tell a friend to tell a friend. And I know y'all have a lot of people that are watching other boxing channels. We're not saying leave them. What we're saying is come on over here so you can actually get on the damn show and not get blocked. You know what I'm
Facts.
saying? And that's just what
Facts.
it is. But on behalf of VP Shane and your boy G5Jefftv, we are out.